What's up guys, Infernape here, and welcome back to my anime review series. I've already gone over 2 anime reviews so far. I've gone over my favourite anime of all time, that being Naruto, and I've also gone over Black Clover. So I also decided to go over an anime who is very current in today's, anime society, and one that actually has a brand new season released. Even though I haven't seen it yet because it's not in English yet and I don't watch the Japanese. That anime being Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is a very, very new anime, and it's also popped off extremely well in the anime community, bringing in all sorts of new fans and all sorts of old fans. So honestly, I feel like this is going to be a brilliant anime to review. Basically, if you guys don't know, what I do is that I go over the 5 main categories for each anime, and then I rank them out of 10. Then I combine all the scores to find the average score of the anime based on my personal opinion. Be sure to let me know down in the comment section below if you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it, if you like Demon Slayer, if you think I correctly ranked or misranked one of the categories, and if you have any video suggestions for the future, be sure to let me know down in the comment section below. So without further ado, let's get into the video! Okay, the first category I'm going to be going over is fighting. This category is quite self-explanatory. I'm going to be going over how amazing the fight scenes are in this anime. And personally, the fight scenes in Demon Slayer are some of the best. Not only are the fight scenes some of the best, they also have brilliant meanings behind the fights. Honestly, these fights, they just take me away. The meaning, the visuals, the fights itself, like the martial arts, the swordsmanship, it is so brilliant. Honestly, it was very, very well thought out, if you ask me. Some of my favourite fight scenes from Demon Slayer have to be Tanjiro vs Ruri, which is an amazing fight that blew up Twitter. Rengoku vs Akaza, which was by far my favourite fight in Demon Slayer, because it was very emotional and it was also extremely well animated. And one other fight that I really liked was probably Daki vs Gyutaro. It was very well animated and had a lot of emotion in the fight. Alright, now that I've gone over the pros of the show, I now have to go over the cons, because no category is absolutely perfect. So if I had to pick a con for the fighting category in Demon Slayer, I'd probably say that the fighting doesn't last too long. Now, I get that it doesn't last too long because of the pacing of the show. They can't really afford too long of a fight scene. Otherwise, the majority of the season would just be that one fight. However, I personally think it would have been better if the seasons were longer, so that way they could afford to have longer fight scenes. That way the fight scenes could be a little bit longer, and that way the viewers could be a bit more concentrated on the fight, because half the time it feels like it's just a one and done situation, you know? Plus I swear that most of the fight scenes in Demon Slayer last about 2, maybe 3 episodes at most. I mean, I know there's a crap ton of fight scenes in Demon Slayer that only last for 1 episode. But, honestly, I think that the fight scenes in Demon Slayer should be a little longer. So, honestly, make the series longer so that way we can make the fight scenes longer. But, honestly, that's not too bad if I'm being totally honest. So, if I were to rank fighting from 1 to 10, I would give it a solid 9 out of 10. Because it's not a huge loss, plus all the pros outweigh the cons. So, therefore, I think giving it a 9 out of 10 is a fair rating if you ask me. Alright, next I'm going to be going over character development. Honestly, there's not really a lot that I can say about character development, because when it comes to Demon Slayer, character development is probably one of their weakest categories. So far, there hasn't really been a lot of character development in Demon Slayer. Only things I can really think of when it comes to character development was when Rengoku died. This caused the main 3 to realise that they had to train harder Because of this, they've learned all sorts of new techniques and battle strategies. For example, Tanjiro learning the origin of sun breathing. However, I don't think that characters becoming stronger is character development. It's just characters becoming stronger. Honestly, those are the only pros I've got. Now for the cons. Like I said, there hasn't been enough character development in Demon Slayer. That is probably a ginormous con. I don't know if it's because that Demon Slayer has very few episodes in seasons, and so far there hasn't been enough seasons for characters to be developed, but still, they should have at least a tiny bit of development, and they've had like next to nothing, if I'm being totally honest. Plus, I don't really like the fact how they also like throw in sad backstories for the demons literally as they're dying. Literally, that is just absolutely pathetic. That's basically throwing away a very good chunk of the story. Like, we should know this before they die, not during. Shows like the Big Three, they'll happily give characters backstories before they're either defeated or dead. And honestly, that's what they should have gone with. Not literally off them, show them a story, and then show them disintegrating into the earth. Honestly, that is just wasted opportunity. So honestly, the best I can do is give character development a 5 out of 10. Because honestly, I just can't make it any bigger or smaller. So honestly, 5 out of 10 is a fair ranking for character development because so far nothing has happened, and I feel like there's going to be maybe some development later in the series, but so far there just isn't enough. Next up, we're going to be going over plot. Now, the plot in Demon Slayer is fairly interesting because of the fact that it has some very basic plot, but it also has very advanced plot. So it's a nice, even territory for both old anime fans and new anime fans. So it's hard to say if the plot is mediocre or if it's super advanced. But it's interesting to say the least. It's no surprise that the demons are weak to sunlight, because of the fact that a lot of mythological creatures have been known to be weak to the sun. However, the special ore that's used to make the Nichirin swords, though, that is actually a very interesting point if you ask me. Like the fact that these special ore come from the tallest mountain closest to the sun's ray, so that way it can absorb the sunlight into the ore to then make Nichirin swords, which can be used to decapitate demons. That is sick. That's a very, very interesting plot if you ask me. One other thing I find really, really cool is, well, some people have invented their own styles when it comes to their respective breathing techniques. For example, Tomioka invented an 11th breathing form in his water style. And Rengoku has invented an attack based on himself thanks to his flame breathing. And then there's Inosuke, who's invented an entirely new breathing altogether. And it makes me wonder if there's going to be other characters who have invented their own style of breathing technique. That would be absolutely sick. If I had to pick a con for this category, is again that some of these plots are a little too basic. Now, while this is good for brand new anime fans, it may be taken into a bad lighting if I'm being honest, because let's say that a new anime fan decided to watch this show. They may think that Demon Slayer is hiding behind their animation. So it's a bit of a hit or miss, and it was definitely hard to give this a rating, so I decided to give it a 7 out of 10. Not too high, not too low, I say it's about right. The next category is animation. And honestly, we all know that Demon Slayer's animation is godly. The animation in Demon Slayer is the absolute best of the best. Absolutely flawless. Honestly, it's probably some of the best animation we have ever seen in Demon Slayer. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the studio decided to take Demon Slayer and said, you know what, let's see what we can do when we focus all of our attention to the animation detail. And oh boy, did they come through, because they have created some of the best when it comes to animation. Not only that, I'm fairly certain that Demon Slayer has been nominated and has also won some awards when it comes to animation. So that kind of shows you how good Demon Slayer is in terms of animation. If I had to pick one con about Demon Slayer's animation, I'd probably say that the sacrifice for their animation is that the story, the plot, and the development are a little slow. So that's not really a bad thing in terms of animation, it's the bad thing in everything else. So in terms of animation, it's a 10 out of 10 because the animation itself is godly. Okay, the final category that I'm going to be going over is music. And honestly, Demon Slayer's music is probably some of the best of the best. This is what really makes Demon Slayer. The animation, the fights, and the music. That is definitely what makes Demon Slayer tick. Honestly, all of the openings in Demon Slayer hit like a truck. They just slap you right in the face. And it is honestly some of the best of the best. Like, Demon Slayer's first opening, that slaps. Like, opening 2 was also really good. Plus, the soundtracks they used in Mugen Train, amazing. Season 1 and 2, both very, very good. I'm not the biggest fan of the opening in Season 3. However, I can look past it. Because everything else about it just slaps. Also, the soundtracks that they use in the anime also are very, very good. My personal favourite, while probably very predictable, is got to be the soundtrack that was used in the fight between Tanjiro and Rui when Tanjiro used Hinokami Kagura. That slaps. Honestly, it just works so well. If I had to pick one con in Demon Slayer, I guess sometimes they do use the same track in quite a lot of the episodes, but that's not really a bad con considering that the music is still very, very good. You can just see when it's coming. Plus, there are other animes that are guilty of this as well, so it's not the biggest con in the world. That's why I think Demon Slayer's music is definitely a massive 10 out of 10. Okay, now that we have our scores in all the categories, all I have to do now is add them all together and divide by how many categories there are. So all I need to do is add them all up, divide them by 5, and that's the average score we've got for Demon Slayer. So, what I believe is the score for Demon Slayer is 8.2 out of 10. That is the lowest score that we've had on this series so far, but I still think that Demon Slayer is a great show. Definitely not the greatest anime of all time, but it's still a very good show. And now guys, hope you enjoyed the video as much as I did. Be sure to let me know down in the comment section below if you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it, what you think of Demon Slayer, if you think my overall score was too high or too low, and if you have any video suggestions for the future, be sure to let me know down in the comment section below. Also guys, give me some other ideas of what anime you want me to review, because honestly, I am down to review all sorts of anime, whether it's ones I haven't seen or have seen. So if you want me to review an anime, let me know in the comments, because I will definitely get around to reviewing that anime. Also guys, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you're new around here, because I've noticed that a large portion of my viewers are not subscribed. Like, honestly guys, please, it helps me out a lot. Subscribe if you like what I do. And also tell your friends about me if they're interested in the same things you are, so that way I can maybe get a few more subscribers under my belt. Because when I hit 400 subscribers, I will be doing 4 crazy ass dares that you guys suggest, and I'm not backing out of it. So please, subscribe to my channel if you're new. Did you enjoy the video as much as I did making it? If you did, be sure to give it a massive thumbs up, comment down below, share this video with a friend, and if you're new, subscribe to my channel. It's been Inferno today. Okay, that's all from me, so until the next time, this is Infernape, signing off. Bye!